Next, we have Scott High School. Zach?
Hi, Board of Education. I appreciate you having me again. This is my 9th set of board reports, so I feel a little old, but that's okay. Very happy and proud to be at Scott. I know all you guys have been out and seen our building. Very excited for the new building. I've got an awesome staff, an awesome building, and a great community that we work in. Just this morning, we had our Eagle Club, which is our parent supporters, came out and gave donuts to all of our kids for breakfast just to say, you know, we love you, and handed them a little lanyard, little Scott lanyard. So it's an awesome place to work, and we really love it. We're very much loving that, no closets this year. Our enrollment is up. We're actually the largest I've been since I've been there. We have about 1,050 students. So we actually hired 2 or 3 extra staff after the year started, and very excited for that as well. We're still really pushing hard to help our kids transition to the next part of their life. And I'll talk a little bit about some of our areas, but we still are really pushing to get them ready for the next part of their life. We have a lot of students that attend Ignite, and we're excited about that, but also what to do with the students left behind. We've been concentrating on reading a lot the last couple years, and those reading scores have went up. We've got a lot of school-wide strategies we're doing and continuing to use and improve on, but we're excited that our reading scores have went up. We feel like that's a key to a lot of work. Our math scores went down a little bit, and we were kind of worried about that, but actually in reviewing the math scores very specifically, what we found is we're still getting a tremendous amount of growth out of our kids. We just got farther to take them than we're used to taking them, and the math goal's pretty high. As you may know, the graduation requirements are changing, and so are the assessments. So we're kind of excited to see how that goes. One big thing we've done this past year is we've added a geometry section. Kids at our school will get an extra 12 weeks of geometry if they're not on an accelerated level, and that will be before that graduation test. We're really hoping that has a big impact on those math scores. The other thing that we've done tremendously is, and I've shared this information a lot with our teachers, we missed the third star by 0.2, and I'm kind of like Carl. I don't really depend on the star system a lot because of some of the changes and the continuing changes we've got, but we're actually significantly above the state average in every category except for one, and that's career ready. So we have really been putting our efforts there the last couple of years. Last year we actually had 80 students in our building trained as first responders. They were not recognized by the state, but we're still moving forward with those programs. We have 7 programs that we've started at Scott in the last 2 years. Just last 2 weeks ago, we had 42 students pass their pre-law assessment, first time ever. We got about 90 more that'll be taking that in the spring. I've also had 8 students that have got ahead of the curve. They shouldn't be finishing their Homeland Security stuff until next semester, but we've got 8 that's finished it already, and about another 80 in track for that. We have the JROTC is based at Scott now. We have scholars from all schools. I've got about 50 kids in the freshman class, so we're really pumped and excited about that. Also, our vet assistance program's got 60 kids in it. We have a pharmacy assistant program with 50 students in it. Plant and crop production has 30 students, and just 2 weeks ago our site base decided to go ahead and add a law enforcement strand to link on to the pre-law in the spring, so we're expecting about 30 kids to do that as well. So again, we're really pushing for kids to be transition ready. I know you probably hear it all the time, but transition ready is not something you do automatically. It takes years to put in place, and we're really expecting the first rounds of payoff to be this year, and then next year have even more, because that will be when those programs kind of reach their fruition and are really pushing our kids. Our graduation rate has increased the last 4 years. We're still not as high as we want to be, but we're doing a lot of work around our trying to get those kids ready for that. We also have had the 3rd year in a row where over 400 credits, college credits, were attained by our students at Scott High School. We're super proud of that. The other thing about that is we've really made a concerted effort the last year to push our kids there in the middle. We really feel that we're missing middle kids, that they don't get recognized by special education services. They don't get the gifted and talented stuff, and they don't automatically go by their own. So we've done a lot of college visits. We take those kids on college visits ourselves to colleges that they likely will go to, and we've seen an increase in the number of students that are going to college that's in the middle, and also in those career tracks. Those career tracks we're trying to create are not created so much for the top end as trying to get that middle kid. So we really see a payoff there. Again, I'm very excited to be at Scott High School. It's a great school. Our teachers work so hard. I've got about the last 2 years, we just noticed I've got 10 new teachers from the last 2 years. None of them are actually brand new teachers, we're excited to say, but there are new teachers at Scott. Great school, great community, and I know you're going to see some massive improvements over us last year. One more thing I will say is, they kind of really messed with us on the career ready testing last year. They've given us back the tools that we've used in the past, and just for one example, my career ready numbers just last week already reached the level they were at the end of the year last year. And it's because of the hard work of the kids, but it's also because of the tools they've allowed us to use again. Thank you.